I figure if I leave this emblem up here long enough, most of you will shut off your screen. But we'll give it a try anyway, see what happens. Today, we got a 2002 Mercedes C320 station wagon. Don't see these guys very often. Non-4matic. We're brought in here because the customer states there's something wrong with the cooling fan. Shop has replaced a cooling fan already and 88,000 miles on it. Scanner's already hooked up. I'm using the AutoLogic. You guys can use whatever you like. Just very comfortable with this tool after years of using it. Pop it up here on the screen. Said I liked it. I didn't say it was fast. Just check fault memory. We have one code stored. Electric suction fan for engine or air conditioning open circuit. Well, open circuit sounds good to me. Let's see what we actually have going on. Let's try actuations. Electric suction fan. It's going to have me turn off the ignition. Okay. Older Bens, very common that they'll make you do this. You have to wait 10 seconds in between. Every time you switch over to some type of mode, they have a long pause before they actually allow you to do anything. Turn the ignition back on. Tells us that the fan and the air conditioning runs at 50% during actuations. So it starts us off at 50%. Let's pop open the hood. Matter of fact, let's crank it up a little bit there. Let's go up to 70. And let's go into the hood and see if we got anything happening. And we have absolutely nothing happening here. Definitely is a new fan. Looks like a new aftermarket fan. Also looks like the radiator was replaced. It might be a little bit hard to see there, but that's a shiny new radiator in there. So probably a little bit more to this story than we think. Looking at a new water pump, new thermostat and housing. So people have been working on this car for a while. Alright, I guess we'll take a quick look down there. Let's see if I can get you in focus. Alright, so down here at this plug, this is going to go into that cooling fan module, which is right over there. And that cooling fan module is going to be in control of turning the fan on and off. So generally these are going to be either 3-wire or 4-wire setup. And in our case here, we got a thick brown, thick red, a green and something, and a black and white. Alright, so I'm going to get a wiring diagram out on this thing first and see what's actually happening. Okay, for the sake of YouTube, I've done a couple things here. Brought the picture of the diagram up on the screen so we can actually draw on it again, and we'll have an idea. In this case here, we have an M47, happen to be our cooling fan module. We can actually go back out here. And the way we know that is when we pull up the diagrams, they give us this nice little legend. And our legend tells us to look right about here where I am. See if I can zoom in on that. M47 up here at the top, electric suction fan engine and AC with integrated control. So we know M47 is going to be what we're looking for in our diagram. Let me get back down and go back to our other one. Alright, so here's our M47. What do we have here? We have one wire that goes up here to N310, which we can go back to the legend and get, oh, sorry, didn't mean to get you out of focus there. Our N310, that's going to be our engine control module in this car. So if we come in here, let's use our highlighter again. That wire is going to be coming down here. This is going to be considered to be the ECM, call it whatever you like, engine control module in this case. W9, that's probably going to be our thick brown wire right here. So let's just say that this is going to be the ground. We can check the legend in again. And over here we have F32, which I believe that's going to be 125 amp fuse. It's going to be 30, so it's an all the time battery power. So this one right here is going to be our power. And that's going to be coming in at pin 2. So we have our main power, our main ground already spoken for, our control wire here, and you're probably going to have this last wire right here is probably going to be well, I'm going to assume that that's going to be a power. That's probably going to be what's actually going to keep that cooling fan module turned on. That's going to be like an ignition input. So we'll call that IGN. And it gets a little messy. IGN. And that's going to be this wire right here. So let's assume that that's going to be ignition power in. This is going to be our control circuit here, where we're going to get something like a square wave. Whoop, that won't work, huh? Something like a square wave or a duty cycle. That's going to be the control for the fan. Power over here, and our ground, our main ground for the fan. Go out there and go take a look and see what we got. Okay, just went out there, grabbed a regular incandescent test light. We're going to go down here, we're going to unplug this unit. It's got two little tabs on the side. I don't know how I'm going to show you this. Let's see. Two little tabs on either side of the plug. One here and one back here. Doesn't seem to want to focus. Let's bring that up to where we can get to it. Try to do this with one hand. Okay. Got it up there with one hand. Alright. So, now we get a better look here at our wires. We do have a red. Here's our green. This is going to be our control wire. That black and white was the one that we're not sure of, but I think it's going to be an ignition power coming in, and the brown being our ground. So doing a quick check here. I am hooked up to ground using the body ground there, and we have nothing already on that large red. Alright, let's just check the ground side. See if we get a power around here we can grab from. And we do. Little jump spot right up over here. Lots of credit to people that can do this all with one hand, by the way. And I am using my phone. But we are hooked up to the ground. It's at least enough ground to run the 200 milliamp test light. And I apologize, folks, here if I keep on pausing. It's because up on my screen I keep on getting phone calls. That's why I wanted to use my camera and not the phone, but we want to make this one pretty quick. Alright, so we know that here, if we move that, we are hooked up to power right now, and this is also supposed to be the power wire. We're not shorted to ground, so that's a good sign, but I do believe that that open circuit code may have been legitimate. I'll hook this back up here one more time, just to verify. Okay, still no power there. Give the little harness a wiggle, just to see. No changes, nothing like that. Alright. So let's go back over to that diagram again, find out. I believe that came from that 125 amp fuse. Let's find out where that is. Okay, that fuse showed F32. That was, let's see where my mouse is here. That's this guy right here, fuse number 32, 125 amp fuse. Or not fuse 32, F32, excuse me. So let's find out where that actually lives and what it is. And in this case here, we'll go back into our legend for a moment. F32 is up here at the top. Shows front prefuse right here. Sorry for that glare, folks. Front prefuse. Okay, so we need to find out where our front prefuses are, and which means I'll have to do a little bit of digging here, but I have power ground distribution up on the screen already. Here's our fuse assignments for each one of the fuses. And we want our pre-fuse block. So scroll down. That's our fuse relay box in the left-hand side of the engine compartment. That's the interior compartment, driver's side. Fuse assignment of front pre-fuse box. Alright, oops, didn't mean to click that. Let's get off of that. And we'll zoom down a little bit more. Okay. So right in here, engine and AC suction fan, integrated control unit glow out plug stage. And again, sorry for the glare, but it shows socket number 5. Alright, now I know what that is just by looking at it. That prefuse, let's go hop out there for a second. hopefully not make you guys too dizzy. But right where I was hooked up here for power, that's our pre-fuse box. Okay, and is it numbered? Sure is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're gonna go right over to fuse number 5. Let me grab that test light over here that's still hooked up, and we might as well go across each one. 1, 2, 3 is empty. 4, 5, which was the one in question, which does have power, and 6. Now, we do have power here at 5. So, there was no other connector or anything else in that diagram. So we have this big cable, this big red cable is losing power between here and all the way back over there at our fan. Highly unlikely to have a wire that's actually that thick. I'm gonna guess that this is probably maybe about an 8-gauge wire, something that thick to be split in half anywhere out there for an open circuit. So this is gonna be a little bit of an oddball. Let's go take a look and make sure we don't see anything obvious here. Make sure that the wire itself, let's see, the wire itself right at the connector is not ready to pull out, that it's not weak. Nope, nothing like that. Give a little tug on the wire, make sure it's not split right down here at the bottom. Well, I do notice though, now that I'm looking down there, now that you can see my feet, there's no dust cover, and there's a new radiator in this car. Did this person drive over something? Let's go take a little peek. Alright, see what we got down here. Come on, focus, little camera. Here we go. And this right here is our harness that goes up to the fan, it looks like. Let's see if I bring that down. Here we go. That's definitely our harness for the fan. Wires down. So it does come up here inside this loom. This loom, oh look at this. There's no window fender well. Let's take a look. Scoot ourselves around and oh boy. What do we have right here? Is that part of the same harness? Now, let's see, the harness comes up over here, and if I wiggle it, might be hard to show that on camera, but sure as heck, comes right up here to the green one. This nice green crusty wire that's in here. And I see red. So you're telling me that somewhere along the line, let me see if I can get you in a little closer there. Come on, little camera. There you go. That has been there a while. There must have been a voltage drop on this thing. I don't know why they put a fan in it. Possible that the fan went bad. But what we got here is one very, very busted cable. I don't even think there's anything left in there. Yeah, that's pretty well done. Okay, we're gonna have to open this up. I'm actually getting washer fluid dripping down on me. I don't know whether or not that'll show, but there's washer fluid leaking down over here too. These little hoses, I'll have to be careful when I move it around. Alright, well, I'm gonna see what I can do about repairing this wire, or if I'm just gonna end up replacing the cable itself. And I'm sorry it won't stay in focus, folks, but we're going to replace that and see what we get out there. Okay, so cheap temporary fix on there. It's not going to stay that way, so no one needs to make any comments. But it's just a cheap temporary fix right now until we can actually get another cable in there and run it the length. Apparently parts store over here is out of cable. How, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe this is happening everywhere. What can I tell you? But any which way, all hooked up over here. Fan is just plugged back in. I did verify power is back on our red wire right now. So, come inside. Fire this thing up. Gonna turn on the AC. Set AC to low. And we're gonna give it a chance to actually start working on its own. Nothing yet. Come on, baby, you could do it. You could do it. Ah, like magic. Fans are back in working order. Just come back in here real quick. Hit our fault memory, and it's already gotten rid of it as a current fault. It just went back to a stored fault. We can clear that out. Turn off the ignition. Hit OK, wait our 10 seconds. Ignition back on. And let's see here, I'm gonna turn off that AC for a second. I think what we'll do is one more time around, I'll go back in. If I can turn this thing off. Alright. I'm going to go into our actuations again. Let's go back into our suction fan. Turn the ignition off. Click OK. I mean, think about all the extra time you spend making these videos. Makes it hard to justify sometimes. But I will do it to help everybody else out there out. Electric suction fan for the engine, initializing actuation. Says it's at 50% right now. I do hear the fan on. Fan is on. And it's about a medium speed. Oop, let me zoom you back out. We'll bring it back up to about a 90% duty cycle. And she's roaring away now. These aren't really duty cycles, by the way. I think I said duty cycle there. That's a mistake. It's actually just what percentage I actually want to run it at. I can run it all the way down to 10%, 20%, 30%. At 20%, this thing must look like it's this looks like a water wheel. Yeah, it's about 20%. I could probably stop that with my hand if I wanted to, which I don't. Okay, well, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Everything here is working okay. Just double check one more quick time here for codes. And of course hit the decline button on my phone again for the 18th phone call. And no codes are set. Everything's looking good. We'll end up replacing, I'll have that shop replace the cable going all the way down there to do it appropriately. And we're done with this one. Alright, hope you enjoyed it.